So next talk is from Robert Schweikert, and it's on topic "Something is busted, food for thought."
Okay, thank you. I will start with a disclaimer. I put this together quite a while ago, when the OpenSUSE conference was a far, far distance away. Very early on in the 12.2 release cycle, actually. And this is part of presentation and part of discussion. But for the discussion, I will reserve the right to refer to my presentation that has now moved to tomorrow. So if the discussion goes too far off this, then you will have to be patient and wait until tomorrow. Also, Stefan is setting up a BOF where we can have more discussions on these topics. You already set it up? Yeah, okay. So from 12 to 1 tomorrow, BOF. So here we go. What will I cover? I will give a bit of background, and I will show that it is actually difficult to help, at least from my point of view. And I will talk about the casual contributor, not the casual uninitiated contributor, but a contributor that actually somewhat knows what they're doing, but they run into difficulties. There are no easy answers, and in this talk I don't propose any fixes or anything, so this is really just food for thought for all of us. Yeah, and then I know all the arguments that I will probably hear, and then at the end we'll have a discussion. So let's jump right in. M2 for 12.2. This is what Stefan sent to the mailing list. So I'll let you read that for a minute if you can. Basically it says that M2 is tomorrow, and that is not going to happen, okay? There were oodles of build failures, and things were just not in good shape. Of course, in hindsight, we can say that this is already an early indicator of what happened later on in the release, and I certainly can claim a big part of the responsibility here, but there is an early indicator that things were not going well. However, if you go, and then you go and you look at the status page that Stefan showed earlier in his talk, right? So here we found 158 build failures, and actually quite a good number of requests, 86 requests. And hopefully one would think that those were actually fixes, but most likely they were not. If you then also go and look at the OpenQA page, then you would have seen a screenshot like this that said booting and then nothing else. So it was broken, nothing happened. So look at the status page. This is M2, right? This is the day before M2. Everything is red, unresolvable, failed, x86 and 586, not a good picture. So, what shall we do? As good citizens of the community and not wanting to leave everything to Stefan, jump right in and help, right? Jump right in, find a package that is red, right there, right? It says failing, so take any one of these. You should be able to jump right in and fix it. But our development model says the package goes through the development project into factory. So pick a package that is read here and go to the development project, and you will find that, but it builds. There's nothing wrong. OpenSUSE factory, green, succeeded. Oh, that looks different here. So there's a disconnect, right? Somewhere there's a disconnect. So what happens is, you do this a couple of times, and the casual contributor will very quickly get discouraged, right? Very quickly. You see it red there and say, okay, I have some time, I'll help and fix something. And then you go and it says, well, there's nothing to fix. It already works. So what's going on? It is not easy to jump right in and help, right? If you want to jump right in and help, you will actually have to jump through many hoops, and that is a problem, right? If we want help, we want more people to help fix stuff. When messages like that come out, we have to make sure that we're not in this situation, that it is broken in factory and the development project actually works, right? And maybe auto-submit helps to some extent, but I'm not sure that we're there yet. So, here we go. It is not easy to help, okay? And this example that I picked here is not the only one, okay? I just picked FFADO. I went through about 10 packages on that day, just for fun. And they almost all look the same, that they built in the develop project, right? And so yeah, I can go into factory and fix it and whatever, but what we really want is we want these packages to make their way into factory so that the status page is green, right?
Yeah, but you looked at, you looked at the monitor page, but there's a status page that by default ignores pending submit requests to broken packages. And this situation is the reason why it's ignoring packages that have already changes pending, because I don't know why this exactly is succeeded here. I can come up with several reasons, but one of them is because it's already fixed and hopefully submitted to factory. So that's that. But this situation is exactly the reason why the pending submit requests are ignored by default. You know what I mean? The status page.
But it's not. You don't show. It's not shown.
No, this is the monitor page. Right. There's that I.
Correct.
Yeah, but that's why I'm showing this status page in every second link I'm posting to factory.
Okay. What? Did everybody hear Jeff? No?
I was just saying, I think the point is that explanation should probably be at the top of that page if that's what the difference is.
But it should be very clear what is what.
Yeah. So, it is not easy here, okay? Again, I'm talking about anybody in the community who sees your message or anybody's message that says, I want to help, right? They may know how to package and they may actually know how to fix any one of these, but if they just look at the status in various places, it's not consistent, right? You end up with somebody potentially chasing 5 or 6 packages and they're trying to help, and they end up in, it's already fixed. Well, they walk away and they probably won't come back, right? So I think we have a problem that we have to look at. Okay? So what happens after 10 of these packages is the guy who is willing to help and is very enthusiastic gets deflated very quickly, right? Is he gonna come back? Maybe he'll come back the next time, but the chances are not very high that people that we lose due to this process will come back and try to help again the next time, right? So, there are no easy answers, okay? I don't propose that I have any solutions to this, okay? Of course, for those that have endless energies, they will go through all these submit requests and compare 3 different web pages or 4 different web pages and say, okay, here's really one that is really broken that I can fix, right? But most people don't have the endless energy. They will eventually just say, look, I looked here and I looked there. This one tells me it's broken. The other one says it's fixed. I don't know what to do, right? Yeah, we can send a message to you and get an explanation, but, right?
So, do you know the status page, how the status page looks like? Because there is one page for every project that shows all the versions and all the submit requests and all the build failures and all, And that's why I'm wondering if you know that. I mean, just an honest question.
I don't find all the pages, no. I don't find all the pages that I need to look at either.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a way. No, I'm just wondering.
Right? There is.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm wondering about.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is definitely, it's a presentation issue, right? How do we present the information that we have, right? You tell people, you know, we have 158 build failures or more, things are in bad shape, somebody wants to come in and help, right? And I'm not sure that we're guiding people that want to jump in and help in the right direction, right? That they can easily go and say, okay, yeah, this is broken, and then from here I need to go and look here, whether there's a pending submit request and maybe it's fixed or not, right? I think there's a disconnect.
We are talking here a lot about pending submit requests. We should look also about past submit requests which caused the failure, which we might have to take back.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have that information at all.
Perhaps I should move to that one. So the situation, there's a commit mailing list, and OpenQA has the information what last build worked and what doesn't work, and that you can see pretty easily the changelog between those. That works, but the changing back submit requests is not what casual contributors do.
It is a presentation issue. We need to somehow merge this information so that it's clear. Here was something which caused this.
But this is really nothing you can automate in any way. I'm on the status page, there's a comment for each build failure that I add manually and finding out just so I try to put in the comment the reason why it build fails or fails, and it's nothing that is fun.
It's certainly not worth trying to figure it out from a commits mailing list, because you'll end up with too many false positives, because you'll say, I made a commit and then the build broke, but it wasn't actually my package, it was a dependency package that broke. So there wouldn't be obvious correlation between a commit and a failure. And false positives in the two like that would cause far more damage than having no information at all. It's actually one case, a particular case that I would prefer to have nothing than have broken information.
Okay, so once you're there, now what, right? So there's the disconnect that I'm talking about between factory status and the project's feeding factory. There are many moving parts, and it's not easy for anybody to jump in, right? Factory, of course, wants to be fed. Give me new packages. And so maybe we should, okay, clean up our maintainer model, and I'm talking about that tomorrow, so I'm not going to discuss this here. True maintainers, okay, can we find a way to speed up our submit request acceptance, right? And there's just this week or last week, there were new messages on the mailing list where submit request sits for weeks, and somebody says, hey, what's going on, right? Can we eliminate the disconnect, right? So there is a user interface issue, maybe general understanding where we can do better with documentation, okay? And that, again, it goes for people that want to help when they have time, right? We don't have to have, I think we need to assume that people know how the build service operates in general, but they don't have the very deep knowledge that you have and other people have about, you know, this page and that page and this. There's got to be an easier way for us to present the information so that somebody can really just jump in and say, yes, this is a package I usually don't tend to, but I have some time and I want to help. And I think we need to enable that. Okay?
We are like talking in circles because the status page is actually that page that you're looking for. So it's, look at it tonight. So it is really that page that you're looking for. And Stefan is really taking care of it to even add reasons and hints how to fix packages to build failures and stuff like that. So it's, yeah.
Okay. Yes, the reminder mails. But again, the reminder mails started way after this, after I put this together.
Okay, but the reminder mails actually include a personalized link for every maintainer. So current maintainers of a random factory package should know this page because they get a link to it every couple of weeks.
Fix the UI so that when I look at my Devil project, that I see this information.
Right.
And this is your case. You presented in the Devil project, everything is green, but somehow it breaks in factory, and this link is missing.
And again, it's not necessarily about the person. So the reminder mails go to the maintainer, quote unquote, right? But again, when you send out these SOS messages, we need to have an opportunity for people that are not necessarily in the development project that they are willing to fix now, right? They don't want to be maintainer of package X. It's just saying, well, you need help because we have 200 build failures. I have an hour. I'll go and spend an hour on package X and, make a small contribution to make it better. And I may not really know anything about package X, but I know how to, I can certainly figure out how to fix it in an hour, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm willing to make a long-term commitment. This just means right now I have an hour and I'm willing to help. And if we present information that may not be necessarily consistent, then we lose that opportunity.
I'm aware what you're saying about contributors, but what I meant is that if someone is maintaining one package, he's likely to be the contributor who wants to jump in fixing other packages, and those should already know the status page because of the reminder mails. That's the link I wanted to make.
Yeah. So.
I think the one missing thing is that status page in the project, so that you don't see which package in that developed project are missing, so not submitted or impending. So usually the maintainers of the certain developed project do care only his project, nothing else. So he doesn't look at the bunch of the different projects, what is pending and what is not. Just he takes a look only at his own project, so that status page on the project would be more helpful.
Oh, we are already in discussion. As we are at food for thought, the problem with the build service is that it wants to be a generic tool. So what you're asking, and several other people asked such things as well, is something where you have one project that is dominating the whole build service instance, where it's like, wherever I am, I see the relation to open source factory. And this is something that is not really well fitting in an open build service. And that's why it's a bit more complicated to come up with a good UI and a good way to present this information that many people of the build.opensuse.org want to see. But just food for thought. If someone has a good idea how to do this.
I have one suggestion. So next time when you write an SOS mail, put the link to the status page into it.
As I said, every second SOS mail has the link.
Well, but not the one he cited.
This one was just basically, I'm overflown.
So I think there was a talk over the weekend about use the best tool for the task. And if OBS is not the best tool to develop open source factory, then maybe we should fix the tool.
That sounds like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. OBS is a really simple tool to use. It's fairly straightforward. It's like I wasn't involved making packages recently, but when I actually sat down to submit in a package, it took less than 2 hours to put it together. It took another half an hour to figure out what the workflow looked like. Less than a day overall, and then 2 days later it was inside the factory.
I fully agree. I didn't say change the tool, I said fix the tool.
I actually think in this case it's quite easy to do that because the relation between the Devil project and the stuff it points to is already clear. So we can, it's UI wise, it's easy to show that because both projects have the information. But in general, it's we from the build service team try to keep it general because we also want contributors, and open source is just such a big pool.
Right, but in the end, the workflow, right, the workflow that we want for factory has to be supported by the tool. And if there are certain disconnects, then we have to figure out how to bridge those gaps, right? I understand that from a build service point of view, you want to be, you want to build packages. And then on top of that, we can have our own workflow for factory, meaning through developed projects and whatever else. And if there are certain disconnects, then we have to figure out how to bridge those gaps, right? To make it easier, right?
Just keep in mind that it's a general project, not an open source project.
Right. All right.
Yeah, the build service is very slow. Micha just found out.
Sorry, just a question. The way I'm understanding it, it's a user interface issue. And is it possible to fork the user interface to have a separate user interface for factory development that would eliminate these issues?
We already have some hooks in the build service code for projects that have a specific attribute set, which then sets free some workflow. And we could do this even further, but only if we have a good argument. What Takashi just said is something that I hear very often, and perhaps I guess we should just do this. Basically, if some package in multimedia libs links to or is developed project for a factory, then a problem in factory should also be highlighted if you look at multimedia libs, basically. The problem here is that these informations are very hard to find out with the current data structure because it's all file-based. You have to dig tons of repositories, architectures, whatever. And so basically loading the page from multimedia libs would then just take a minute longer to find out how it relates to factory. And this is something that we have to solve before we can say it's a usability problem. And that's why it's not so easy.
Well, I'm not sure we have time for that, but Robert, could you show us what steps does it take to find the broken package in the factory? And what steps do we need to do to fix it? Just then we can see what the problem is more concretely and what could we do to fix it?
Well, the idea really is not, I didn't want to do a demo, but I can. But in the end, right, it needs to be so easy that we don't have to have this discussion, or that you really can just go to factory, go to the status page and say, this is broken, and then go to the develop project, and it's also broken there. That's really all that's needed, right? Consistent information.
So is that.
So, but Robert,
Go ahead. You tied it up already? No. Okay.
Robert, while Hannah tries to fix your laptop, the problem is also that it's finding the information is one part, fixing the package is another one. I very often get asked by people, I want to help, but I'm not good at fixing packages. What can I fix?
Whatever.
And then I look at like these 150 build failures and say, oh, this is complicated, this is complicated, here. And the problem is if I,
good luck with that.
if I find a simple to fix package, it's usually
Beautiful.
already fixed, because the easy ones are. The problem is that the hard to fix packages or hard to fix problems are queuing up over time.
Well, but if people need to ask you how to find them or what they have to do, it just proves, Robert, that there is room for improvements.
There is
Right.
always room for improvements. I'm not
Yes,
doubting that. The problem is just that, for example, with this GCC switch for 12.2, which was a big problem, all the easy compilation problems were fixed like in 2 weeks. But then we spent another 3 months finding the problem with libzip, because this was not a piece of cake to fix. Micha found it.
Right, but in the end, right, we don't want you to be the magic, right?
No, Micha was the magic.
I know, but you know, this morning you had this wonderful slide with, then magic happens, right? You fixed too many packages, right? And that goes back to what Klaus said earlier today. Somewhere, more people have to step up and take the responsibility, right? And that goes into the maintainer model that I will really talk about tomorrow. But, you know, you're in the middle of it, but you're also supposed to be the release manager and. And so it would be best if you don't go in and fix the packages, right? If you really just worry about the integration of stuff. Yes, I know that's idealized, but we really need to get to that point, right? And having 5,000 packages, like you pointed out this morning, and 300 and some maintainers, that's not sufficient. So,
But I think
anyway.
what we thought about is that we have to make it more efficient for the casual maintainer to submit stuff, because we are seeing the trend that we have more casual maintainers than hardcore maintainers. So we have more people that go over random package and random package failures rather than caring for their own special little part of the distribution. So we need to figure out a way on how to make the process and the tools work better for those.
Right.
So this is your homepage, what you showed earlier today.
Yes.
And I wonder if this should be your homepage. If you shouldn't look at OpenQA and at submit request, because build failures in GNOME apps should be something for the GNOME apps maintainer.
Yes, but for most of them, they have an open bug report at upstream waiting for the fix, because it's something that upstream has to fix.
And that's nothing you can do in factory.
Yeah, but that's why I'm trying to add comments, so that new people who look at the build failures know that there's nothing to fix, that they have to wait. But if I know such a detail, usually I don't. But when I ask Dominique why GNOME do plugins, I usually get a very concrete answer how he handled the problem. So, but for example, Hawk is also something that it now failed because of some Rails changes, and I know that the maintainer, whose name I just forgot, is already working on the fix, but it's very complicated because he has to port from Rails 2 to Rails 3. So, but very often, like GeoClue there, I have no idea why it fails. It's something glib, C, blah stuff. But this is something for the maintainer of GeoClue to fix. And I can't do more than sending him reminder mails or hope that some volunteer sees this here.
I just wonder how useful this page is for the casual maintainer. And as Robert said, I look at the Devil project, and this is where I get.
But
the
GeoClue will also fail.
I would never look at this page.
Can you please click on application Geo behind GeoClue? I'm very confident that it fails there as well.
Where?
There's behind GeoClue. There's the link to the project, the Develop project.
Geo. Okay, sorry.
Now we have to scroll down, unfortunately. Another problem, by the way. See? And that's there for 21 days. So, and the maintainers of got a reminder mail for that.
So bad luck for the one who wants to have GeoClue in OpenSUSE Factory. This GeoClue is not going to be in OpenSUSE Factory. That shouldn't be your problem.
That would mean to delete failing packages from factory. So in the end, we would like
delete, but not upgrade, not update. Just keep the old.
Doesn't matter because it fails because something else upgraded.
Right.
It doesn't fail because Geo whatever updated. It fails because when it would be submitted as version update and we're already failing, then Kulo would say no. But you know, it's already in there, and it's failing because something else updated.
And we discussed this morning that it's the responsibility of the one submitting the update of GTK or glib to fix all the problems. But this one is because the new version deprecated some function that this is used, and this package compiles with W error, which is insane by itself. So.
The question is, whose interest is it to have the newest GeoClue or a working GeoClue, and whose responsibility is it? And what I'm trying to say, it shouldn't be yours. It should really be the maintainer, and he should find out, okay, what is going on here? Hey, my packages are broken. I want GeoClue in OpenSUSE Factory, and it's broken. So I'm after it.
Right. But why he isn't? What should we do if he
doesn't care?
Was hit by the bus?
That's the question.
Well, let's see.
So, like.
Okay, but this really goes into tomorrow. There is your problem.
Once the president.
No, there's your problem, right?
Jesus.
500 people. Nobody is responsible. But that's the discussion that I will have.
Oh, there's a check mark behind Wunz.
Right?
The GeoClue guy.
That's the discussion I want to have tomorrow. Okay, but there's the problem.
No, I don't think this is the problem actually, because only Wunz got the reminder mail that GeoClue is broken, because he has the check mark.
You have 500 people and nobody is responsible. He gets the reminder mail, but he also knows that there are 500 other people on this page. And then he says, well, somebody else will take care of it.
But that again is an UI problem.
I reserve the right to move that discussion to tomorrow. All right, anything else? Other than talking about the maintainer list, Brents.
Yeah, hopefully this time you can hear me all.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, this may sound silly, but I mean, all this building stuff is, of course, well, lots of dependencies. Do you really need to rebuild everything, or do you just need to rebuild what doesn't work? I mean, I have age-old code that I once wrote on Linux 1.3 something, 15 years ago, still works. I don't rebuild that stuff. I just put it on the system. I just do a binary RPM, that's it. It works, because that's what I want software to do. I want it to work. I don't need it to be rebuilt. Unless I have to, of course. Would that eliminate your long list of 500 responsible guys and no response? I mean, why would you rebuild if you don't have to?
If I may answer, this package fails because there's a deprecated function in glib. And this deprecated function is deprecated because it will be removed in the next version of glib, and then it won't work anymore. No, but it's not. If we rebuild or not, the package is broken.
Right. The package is broken. However, if there's a deprecated function, one would think there's a replacement function, or something similar. And so that's, in the end, that's exactly the point, right? As a casual contributor that may know C or C++, I should be able to go in and fix this.
Right?
And now, this one actually also fails here.
Do you see, the status page is very helpful for finding casual contributor packages.
Yeah. Again, but there's a disconnect between the information that we present. And if you don't happen to land just on the exact right page to get you to there, then you end up to where it says failed in one place and succeeded in the other, right? And we should not present information that is misleading, right?
We can just, if the project has no devil projects, then we put the status page as monitor page, and if not, then not.
The monitor page is not just about failures, it's also about building, schedule, block, blah, 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 blah. So we have to find something, if we have to find something.
We will.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Then we're done for now. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10:30, and we'll talk about this very long list of people that this thinks they're responsible for each package. So, thank you.